Hey guys, I'm JV, and this is Wasting Gas. So today, I wanted to talk about an announcement that I just heard. Valtteri Bottas is going to AMG Petronas. That's actually pretty awesome, and completely and totally not a surprise, at least for anyone that has a little bit of logical sense to this. This has been an announcement that a lot of people have been waiting for. Glad it finally came. Feel sorry for Williams Martini. They got to scramble bad now. Everyone kind of felt bad for Mercedes for Nico leaving still last minute. But this is definitely, I think, a little bit more of a crunch time now for Williams Martini Racing. Hopefully they can get it figured out. So anyways, let's talk about Valtteri. So when Nico originally resigned from the team, retired from Mercedes AMG Petronas, my very first thought was that Valtteri was the only driver that could replace him. And I'll explain why I thought that. So I originally thought Valtteri Bottas was the only one that could replace Nico Rosberg. The reason that I thought that were, for several reasons actually. First, the way I saw it was people started screaming, Sebastian Vettel could go over because he's had a crappy season with Ferrari and he's not happy with them, or they'd like to see Max Verstappen, or, maybe Daniel Ricciardo or something like that. And the truth of the matter is, none of those three guys are going anywhere. Sebastian Vettel said from the beginning that he was with Ferrari, still had, I think it's another, 2 years on his contract, and that he would spend them there at Ferrari. He said when he originally signed with Ferrari that it was his dream to be at Ferrari. So I can't imagine that he would have, I couldn't at the time imagine that he would have wanted to do that. And now obviously that is borne out true. Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen with Red Bull, hey, listen up, it's coming into 2017. There's a lot of big changes coming. There's a lot of huge aero changes, and we all know that Red Bull is the kings of aero. Why the hell would they leave? They were already competitive, well, more competitive than anybody else at the end of this season. So why would they leave knowing that they're going into a situation where they may have an advantage? So that just didn't make any sense. I didn't think that Daniel Ricciardo would want to make a change like that, again, with the possibility of a better season coming. I definitely didn't think that Max Verstappen would want to do that after Red Bull having just given him this huge opportunity and, put him in the place that he's at. I just didn't see that going down. I didn't think that would make any sense. So then there were a lot of thoughts of Verline and the other guy's name who now escapes me, one of the other test drivers. And my thoughts to the two of them was, sure, they're capable. It's not that they're not capable. They're great drivers, and they've earned their positions where they're at right now, and I'm sure that someday they may even be, race winners, Grand Prix winners. But for right now, the truth of the matter is they're just completely and totally unproven. It wouldn't make any sense to give the premier seat in any of the F1 teams right now to a completely unknown asset. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm sure it obviously didn't make any sense to any of the people much higher than me. So that's kind of what it comes down to. So who's left on the grid? Well, Massa retired. We'll talk about that here in a second. Kimi Räikkönen again's not going anywhere, just like the other big names. You already had several moves down the line. Maybe Gutierrez could have been a substitute, but I was really rooting for him this season. I wanted him to do good, and with Haas, he just didn't. I know there was a lot of issues that weren't his fault, but Romain Grosjean seemed to pull out a lot more than he did, having the same issues. So I definitely didn't see Gutierrez getting the seat. There were some other moves down the line. Again, just nobody that I would have thought of. The only person that I could think of that's currently on the F1 grid was Valtteri Bottas. He's the only proven entity. He's done a lot with what some would say is very little. He's been able to accomplish. He's gotten some podiums with that car. He's been able to. Yeah, he's really done a good job. He's been steadfast. He's been consistent, which is probably the biggest, most important thing at this situation, is to be consistent, because we all know that, hey, all right, the car and the team and the money and all that starts to play a part. But a consistent driver, you can adjust the car, you can adjust the team to get that driver to perform, once they've got that going for them. So, again, from the beginning, literally day one, the day that Nico Rosberg announced his retirement, I knew that Valtteri Bottas would be the replacement. Maybe, obviously, it's easy to say that in hindsight. It's not like I wrote that down anywhere. But again, to me, it was the only person that made any sense at all in the situation. People, I even heard things for Jenson Button or Alonso, and again, Jenson Button has already all but retired. I don't know what he's kind of doing. I think he's a phenomenal driver. But even still, he's not at the peak of his game. And I'm sorry for all you Jenson Button fans, but he's not. He's just not there anymore. So I don't think, again, he could go into a premier seat. Alonso, we all know he's a phenomenal driver, but we also already what happened with him and Lewis Hamilton the last time they were paired together, and I just highly doubt that Mercedes was looking for that kind of a relationship again. Even though I hardly would put Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton's last few years as on the same level as what Lewis Hamilton and Alonso did a few years back. But even still, like I said, I don't think that they would have wanted to jeopardize that kind of a situation, that possible situation, going into this new rule change season. So it all comes down to Valtteri Bottas. So he's been officially declared. He's out there. He's got the seat. That's awesome. Huge congratulations to him. Huge congratulations to Mercedes AMG. I think they've got themselves a pretty good setup for the next year. I'm still sad to see Rosberg go, but he's made the decision that he's made, and you got to respect a man that wants to leave out on top. That's pretty awesome. So, which kind of brings me to Felipe Massa's retirement, and now subsequent return from retirement. Man, I don't know how I feel about this. So on the one side, I surely appreciate what he's doing for the team, and that they're in a position of need, so he's gonna help them out. That's awesome. He's being a real team player. That's great. But at the same time, I feel like the end of last year, man, that's a retirement that anybody would have loved. Like the way he went out, I just don't think is going to get any better. When he wrecked in Brazil and ended up walking down the pit lane, like that was like historic. That was just awesome. The teams all came out and shared with him and applauded him and gave him his final respect and his due. Final respect. Wow, not like he's dead. Sorry, didn't mean it that way. But it was pretty awesome. So for him to come back now, I understand the circumstances are different and kind of weird a little bit, but for him to come back now, I don't know if I would have. As much as a team player type person that I am, like I don't know that I would have come back, because it's not going to get any better than what it was there at the end of last season. So now, you can come back for another season, and they're going to find another driver, and everyone's going to be like, we said bye to you last year. I don't know. Sure. Cool story, bro. Tell it again. Do you have time? I don't know. I don't know. So, it is what it is. I kind of feel bad for his family that he's finally made this decision to retire, and they thought they were going to get him, and so whatever plans I'm sure they had now that's not happening, obviously. So, I mean, it will be nice to see him in a car one more year, but I don't know. Again, I just don't. Had I been in his shoes, yeah, like I could never be in that position. But had I been in his shoes, I don't know if I could have made the same decision. Of course, it's easy to armchair quarterback, not knowing all of the facts and what was offered or what was asked. At the very least, this definitely shows a huge sign of respect on his behalf towards the team, and showing that he really was there for the team. He really was there for them and everything that went down. So I don't know. That kind of, I guess, is what it is at this point. Well, guys, thanks for checking me out, listening to my thoughts on Mercedes picking up Valtteri Bottas. Huge congratulations to Valtteri. Wish him the best this season. Hope Mercedes is able to do something with it. I'm super excited for this season, the new rule changes, the new aero, the new grip, to see what happens, to see if it shakes it up a little bit. And we don't have the same kind of dominance that we had the last 3 years. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you hit me a shout out, send me some comments, send me some likes. Check out my Facebook page and all that good stuff. See you guys around.